They hate them in the UK, and
Yes.
they hate them here too now. They have a below water approval rating in the Americas too. Working hard, that's an American value. No sense of entitlement.
That's correct.
That used to be one of our values. Blame yourself, not others. That used to be one of our values. And they're the opposite of all of that. There was a report, everybody heard about the fake paparazzi dust up last week.
Oh my goodness, yes.
They were followed by a handful of paparazzi, and they blew it up into Diana Gate. She wants to be Diana. He wants her to be Diana. She's no Diana. And they decided to release some statement. I mean, it's incredible. They released the statement through their PR person saying it was a near catastrophic 2-hour car chase through Manhattan, which is a lie. You cannot have that. It's impossible. Lived in Manhattan for 17 years. Not possible. And I said at the time, if there was anything close to 2 hours between these two and the paparazzi, it was by choice. Because you can pull over anywhere in Manhattan and get away from the paparazzi, and they didn't. And now we know that's true because what we are told by page 6 of the New York Post is they were too cheap to pay for a hotel room at the Carlyle, which is where Diana used to stay and where he wanted to stay. And I guess these two have stayed there in the past, but it's $8,000 a night if you want to stay in the Royal Suite, and they didn't want to do it. And the Carlyle wouldn't give them a discounted rate, so they stayed at a friend's house. And the NYPD told the New York Post if they had just paid for some reasonable room at the Carlyle, this could have been avoided. They would have gone into the hotel. It would have been done. They didn't want to do it. And now in the wake of all this, we have them actually firing off a legal threat, Charlie, to the paparazzi on Friday this hit, demanding that the paparazzi, the handful of them that were trying to get a picture of these two, turn over their photographs to Meghan and Harry. We demand that you give us copies of all photos, videos, and or films taken last night by freelance photographers after we left our event. And they sent this to the Backgrid Photo Agency via their legal team. So it's absolutely insane, as he may be a Brit,
yes.
but she well knows as an American, we have freedom of the press here. You have no freaking right to the
exactly
press's
right.
photographs of you. And in some brilliant response here, the Backgrid legal representative, the lawyer, I'll just read it in part because it's so good, Charlie, writes back, in America, as I'm sure you know, property belongs to the owner of it. Third parties cannot just demand that it be given to them as perhaps kings do. Perhaps you should sit down with your client and advise them that his English rules of royal prerogative to demand that the citizenry hand over their property to the crown were rejected by this country long ago. We stand by our founding fathers.
Yes.
It's so that the reason people can't stand them and are still somewhat interested in them are, yes, royals, but also they represent everything most of us in this country
right.
stand against.
They want all the privileges of being royal, but none of the responsibilities. And there are responsibilities. I mean, Queen Elizabeth was beyond regal. She was a hero, and she took it very, very seriously, never complaining, never saying a cross word. They want to live a life of luxury, but they also simultaneously, they want to be able to deconstruct the institution around them. You
Yes.
see, and that's a great point, Megyn, which is they represent everything that is a threat to the West in some manner, because do they have some, I got in a lot of trouble about 1.5 years ago. You'll get a kick out of this, where I don't comment on the royal stuff a lot. But when Meghan Markle came out, and you'll know the details better than I do, I'm grasping at some of the memory. She said that people said something racist to me or something, in Buckingham Palace, and they said, "Oh, we don't like you because of a skin color." Not in that essence, right? Or that she was accusing. And I said, I think she's a liar. I think she's Jussie Smollett. I think she's making it up. I said, you're misrepresenting in a way to try to get clicks and headlines, to try to deconstruct the integrity and the trust of one of the last institutions of the West that people actually enjoy, whether for the weddings, coronation, and it has some semblance of a tradition that came before you, and they are focused on trying to deconstruct that. And part of why I'm a conservative is, instead of trying to tear down everything that has come before us, maybe we should take pause and ask ourselves the question of, what are we going to replace it with? And maybe it's been there for a while for a reason. You see, as conservatives, we want to pass down the best art, the best music, the best traditions, the proper manners, proper language, proper literature. And what Harry and Meghan do, and again, I don't talk about it very openly a lot because I consider them to be kind of a petulant sideshow. At the same time, it's incredibly important because they are mascots for a woke movement that is philosophically determined to deconstruct the West. And they want the high life. And if they can't afford an $8,000 a night room, well, look, maybe Harry's book didn't do as well as he thought it would. And I think that they're seeing the popularity reservoir dry up. I think they anticipated tens of millions of dollars and huge Netflix deals, and I'm sure they're doing okay. But if I were to make a guess between, what they thought they were making and the popularity I think they thought they would receive, I think they are falling far, far short. Therefore, they have to try to make up scandals where they do not exist and do the one thing that low talent hacks always resort to in American public life: become a victim and stage your own hoax. It's what Jesse Smollett did, and that's what they've done.
Yes. My God, that's exactly right. It's so annoying. And New Yorkers know better. You can't pull that shit here. Like, we know our city. This is not possible. And by the way, so many more famous people than you have come through New York without incident. They may have been chased by a couple of paparazzi. You know what they don't do? They don't turn it into a fake 2-hour ordeal and then have their PR person contact all the papers to say, I was victimized. Poor me. Near catastrophic. Not catastrophic, but near. Trust me. So yes, agree with you on everything you just said. Look, you did the tough thing for your employees during COVID. You paid your people and you pulled your business through the pandemic. And now doing the tough thing could qualify you for up to $26,000 per employee at covidtaxrelief.org. Government funds are available right now to reward companies with 2 or more employees who stayed open during COVID. It's not a loan. You don't have to pay it back. The program's complicated, but no one knows more about it than the CPAs and tax pros at covidtaxrelief.org. You pay nothing up front, they do all the work, and then share a percentage of the cash they get you. Businesses of all types, including nonprofits and churches, can qualify, even those who took PPP loans, and even if you had increases in sales. You did the tough thing during COVID. Now let covidtaxrelief.org help get you up to $26,000 per employee. Visit covidtaxrelief.org. Isn't it worth checking out? covidtaxrelief.org, covidtaxrelief.org. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.